Good evening. North Las Vegas City Council welcomes you to our City Council meeting this evening. There are two public forums set aside for public comment, one at the beginning of the meeting and one at the end. If you wish to speak, please complete one of the blue cards on the podium rail or out in the main door where you entered. Give that card to the city clerk. She sits right here to the left. It's her hand up. And she will hand them to the assistant, the Mayor Pro Tem. And when I call upon you, we ask that you limit your comments no more than 3 minutes and we avoid repetition. Madam City Clerk, are we in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law?
Mayor, yes, we are.
Thank you. Tonight we have the opportunity and blessing to have an invocation given by Nathan Marshall of our own North Las Vegas Grace Point Church, followed the Pledge of Allegiance by Troop 368. Please rise.
Mayor and Council, thanks for having me here. Let's bow our heads. Father, we just thank you for all that you have made, and we thank you that in all of creation, your hand is seen by all. Today, as we start this meeting, I ask that you give the mayor and the rest of the council wisdom, help them to be able to discern all sides of disputes and understand the second and third order effects of each decision. Give them the courage to make the hard decisions for the betterment of North Las Vegas. Lord, I thank you for their servant leadership to the present for North Las Vegas. Give them the humility and courage to stay the course. And we thank you for your son's example in servanthood, for giving us an opportunity to have a relationship with you. In your precious son's name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you coming today and blessing our meeting. And also for Matthew, Joshua, Nicholas, and Jordan from Troop 368, Chapel Heights Ward of the LDS Church. Thank you for being here. They're here today, Council, to work on citizenship in a community merit badge. And we had a meeting up in my office, and as far as I'm concerned, they all passed. So that was a good meeting. Also, to my right, we have Andrew Sierra, who's a guest here shadowing the mayor. Goes to CSN. Is that correct?
CSN High School.
Pardon me?
CSN High School.
CSN High School. I got to admit, yeah. But he's here today. He's doing his public service here on some stuff he's working on and wanted to come shadow the mayor today. So he'll be here, just sitting here through the council meeting. Moving on to council items. Councilmember Owen?
Mayor, we do have a presentation first.
Oh, I passed that. I'm so sorry. We have the Nevada Cancer Society here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight, moving on to presentations, we have a presentation to the American Cancer Society, and Councilwoman Goins Brown will make the presentation. Council, let's go down front.
While they're coming down, as we all know, cancer can be a dreadful disease, and one of us, I'm sure all of us, know a loved one or a friend that has been affected by this dreadful disease. As you can see, my colleagues and I are sporting our pink this evening in support of Breast Cancer Awareness and Cancer Awareness Month throughout the month of October. And just on a personal note, I consider her the matriarch of my family. My mom is a cancer survivor of probably 20 plus years. And so through strong faith, prayer, lots of hugs, lots of talks, she's here with me, and I'm just grateful that my mom is here today and can witness this night. And so I love you, Mom. Thank you for being here. And so I will turn it over to you, Cedric.
Well, thank you first and foremost for allowing us to be here tonight and for the support that the council's given us in marking this day, normally around this time, cancer awareness and prevention education. And they've allowed us, you may have seen Pearl out in the front. You can't miss her too much, the pink fire engine. And so for that, we really appreciate you for allowing us to do that and supporting our efforts. A couple of years ago, well, we started Pearl, or the Pink Engine opportunity, or Pink Hills, excuse me, program, probably 9 or 10 years ago. And I can tell you since then, this valley's raised probably close to $250,000 altogether in prevention and education. And so I'm proud of that, to be a part of bringing that to our valley. Tonight, every year we try to do a presentation for the funds that those beautiful shirts that they wear. They purchased them from our local firefighters, and who we go out on the strip and we go all over this valley and we sell these shirts. And all of those funds, all the proceeds from those funds, we donate back to the community, whether it be American Cancer Society or some other wonderful organizations that support prevention education, and also some of the sciences that go into trying to make sure that we do our best to get rid of and fight cancer to the end. All right, so tonight we have a check for the American Cancer Society, and it's going to be presented by one of our board members, Anthony Bonafato, to Mr. Alan Oakley in the American Cancer Society. So thank you very much for coming tonight. Thank you for the work that you do, and we're happy, so happy to be a part of that and to see some smiles and victories when people come back and have their testimonies about the things that they went through in the organizations that have assisted them to fight cancer. So tonight, on behalf of our local firefighters and the city of North Las Vegas, we have a check for you in the amount of $5,844.
On behalf, this is the best job in the world. Accept checks all day. I love this. When you see that pink fire truck out there, it's synonymous. Everybody knows when you see that pink truck, what it stands for. What I do is just so minimal. Every day people in our office, and I support the Southern Nevada office here. They roll their sleeves up. They understand the mission. The mission is to cure cancer. We're getting closer every day. We have a great staff, but just locally, just here in this room, cancer affects all of us somehow. A family, a friend, it affects us all. But when you have great people like these gentlemen here next to me, we're going to win the fight, and we're going to fight every day. But I appreciate everything you guys do for us, and this is amazing. This is outstanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Photo op.
I am just too focused. Moving on to council items. Councilmember Owen.
Thank you, Mayor. I also just wanted to put out there that, it's also a special time for me. I'm wearing my
I'm sporting my North Las Vegas fire pink ribbon as well. Yeah. I guess I have to work on our friends from the police department also. Hopefully they'll have a pink ribbon for next year as well, right? At any rate, my wife is also a breast cancer survivor, so it definitely has a lot of meaning in my household. My thing for is between on October 27th, our good friends at La Bonita Supermarket, they're going to be having a trunk or treat, and that's Friday, 27th of October at La Bonita number 2, 2672 North Las Vegas Boulevard. And it's an event for the entire family. I know I'll be out there, and some other groups from my school, Rancho High School, will be out there. And we hope that everyone will join us. And a nice shout out to our friends at the Martinez family for putting this on together. La Bonita, one of our good partners in the community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Rich Churchill.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe, like the gentleman said, we're all touched and have been touched by someone who, it's a terrible subject to even keep bringing up, but I think it's necessary, who've had cancer. I lost my mother to brain cancer. My wife, Gloria, lost her mom to pancreatic cancer. It's devastating, and we need to continue doing whatever we can to remedy that problem and completely eradicate it. So it takes a lot of hard work, same way we're doing over here. And thank you to all of the people and to our firefighters and everyone who participates. Back onto something a little more friendly. Speaking of trunk or treat, there will be a trunk or treat at the generational facility, the Y, on Centennial on October 27th from 6 to 8. I'll be there representing not only the city, but our VIPs will be there. I'll bring a VIPs car, and we'll make sure we fill the trunk up with candy for the kids that night. Also, working with the police, I believe some of us over here on council will be judges once again this year for Safe Halloween at Home Depot on Wednesday evening, the 25th, between 5 and 7. I suggest you get there early because even though this thing says 7 o'clock, the line continues to go well beyond 7 o'clock. And lastly, Viva Las Vegas Festival, which is a bluegrass festival. I had the pleasure with Councilwoman Pamela Goins, who hosted the event at her beautiful Craig Ranch Regional Park. We both spoke briefly about it. You could not have picked a better day weather-wise for that event. It was a perfect day. Unfortunately, for the promoters of that, Brian Burns, who put, they had some fantastic entertainment over there, but the attendance was very low. I've never seen Craig Ranch Regional Park that empty on a Saturday afternoon, and it was attributed to that terrible shooting. People just didn't have it in their heart to come out, but we hope that Brian will be back. Brian supports our Veterans Community Commission as well as our events over here, so we appreciate what he did putting on that event for us. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Boynes-Brown.
Thank you, Councilman Churchill, Mayor Pro Tem. Glad to know that I have my own park now, right? But we did have a great time out there, and hopefully it will continue next year because they are already in the planning stages, and so then hopefully attendance will grow tremendously because our city, state, hopefully will be safe in the year to come. Just a couple things. On last week, Tuesday, Denver Broncos linebacker Brandon Marshall got in contact with me because he wanted to make a donation to the city. So after conversation with staff, it was decided that he would donate $5,000 to our library, and that was very, very, very gratefully appreciated. And the money will be used to purchase Chromebooks. It's like a laptop, and then also the charging lock case that goes with the Chromebooks to use for workforce connection, job training, and all library patrons be able to use that cart. So even though the Broncos did not win last week, it's okay. We still appreciate the donation that he gave to the city. And just, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Amanda Dillard, to Nancy Chavez, our Parks Department, Cass Palmer. I had my 6th annual Reading Rainbow in the Park on October 7th, and it was such a huge success. I think we probably ended up giving away over 400 pre-stuffed backpacks full of books and other materials, and then extra books that we had. At the end of the event, everything was gone. So that's just a testimony to the event that is just growing and growing and growing. And my goal is to promote the community and to promote reading. And real quick, I'd like for Shantae, would you please stand up? Shantae, I have known her since she was probably 7, 8. And her mom succumbed to this deadly disease of cancer years and years ago. Her mom and I taught together for a very, very long time. And she just found me a couple weeks ago, and so we just reconnected. So I'm so grateful to have you back in my life, and I just look forward to seeing your smiling face here often. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Black?
Thank you, Mayor. So I'd also like to announce a Trunk or Treat Harvest Festival opportunity for community members in Ward 3 and any other North Las Vegas residents who would like to attend. It's this coming Saturday, October 21st from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Silver Mesa Rec Center. The good news is I've noticed several new dental offices opening up in our city because we're giving away a lot of candy, and so good times to open up a dental office on Craig Road. Also, proud to announce a new business partner in North Las Vegas in Ward 3 opening our groundbreaking event on Tuesday, October 24th. It's Mountain View Hospital's groundbreaking for their new ER facility across the street from the Aliante Hotel. And so those of you who'd like to come out and support this new partner in our community, it's at 10 a.m. on October the 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. A lot of great things happening in your districts. We appreciate that you out there working so hard in your districts also. So now is the time set aside for the first public forum on posted agenda items. Madam City Clerk, do we have any blue cards at this time?
No, we do not.
We have none. Would anybody like to come up at this time and speak on a posted agenda item? Seeing no one, we'll close the public forum. Moving on the agenda.
Item 1, approve City Council regular meeting agenda of October 18, 2017 for possible action.
Thank you. Madam City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor Council. We have a couple changes to tonight's agenda. The applicant has asked items number 3 and 4 to be continued to November 15th City Council meeting. With those changes, staff recommends the agenda be approved as amended.
Thank you very much. Councilor, any comments or questions? The chair will take a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved. Moving on to set future public hearing dates.
Item 2, set date on any appeals filed or required public hearings from the City Planning Commission meetings.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. I so direct you to set any dates as necessary.
Mayor, so noted.
Moving on to public hearing.
Note for the viewing audience that items 3 and 4 were continued to the 15th of November. Item 5, approve AMP 1017 Sloan El Campo Grande for applicant and property owner Oval Land Number 1 LLC for an amendment to the master plan of streets and highways to remove a portion of El Campo Grande Avenue between Sloan Lane and Beasley Drive.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Gronauer.
Good evening, Your Honor, members of the council. For the record, my name's Bob Gronauer, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. On item number 5 here, we appreciate staff's recommendation for approval, and the Planning Commission did recommend unanimous approval, and we're asking you to follow those recommendations.
Thank you. Anybody from the public audience would like to discuss item number 5 with the council? Please come forward this time. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Council, any comments or questions?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you very much. I'd just like to say, as I understand, the applicant, of course, is bringing yet another fantastic development. There may not be a person yet, but as I understand, there are several who are thinking about coming into a 1 million square foot planned development. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. The prototype would be a 1 million square foot industrial building is what is being proposed as part of the development.
I definitely want to thank our very good friends at Van Trust and dealings that they've had with the city, with our community. They're definitely a company that they do what they say, and they say what they mean. And most definitely, I think there's a fantastic partner here in North Las Vegas. Mayor, I also want to say it's a tribute, I think, to good leadership on this city council and fantastic work by our city staff that has actually grown our city's reputation, our prowess I'll say it, our prowess at dealing with our friends in the business community. The city moves at the speed of business, and Van Trust definitely moves at our speed as well. And with that, if there's no one else, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Please cast your vote. Items approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that project.
Item 6, approve AMP 1117 land use plan changes for applicant City of North Las Vegas for an amendment to the comprehensive plan to change the land use from mixed-use commercial and mixed-use neighborhood to public semi-public, from multifamily to community commercial, from single-family medium, multifamily, and public semi-public to employment, and employment to heavy industrial and property generally bounded by Elkhorn Road alignment to the north, Centennial Parkway to the south, Nellis Boulevard alignment to the east, and Land Boulevard to the west.
Anyone like to come up and make a presentation on this? I think this is an internal staff thing. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and ask the council to make a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to move to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved.
Item 7, approve UN 4417 Tavern at Lake Mead for applicant Cheyenne Capital Ventures LLC et al. On behalf of Cheyenne Capital Ventures LLC et al., Crown Mayfair LLC, and Jazz Investment Corp., property owner 26 Global Infinity LLC, for a special use permit in a C2 General Commercial District to allow an on-sale liquor license, full on-sale, with restricted gaming on property located at 3720 West Lake Mead Boulevard.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, welcome.
Mayor, Council, thank you. Pleasure to be before you. George Garcia, 1055 Whitney Ranch Drive, Suite 210. This is exciting because we had an opportunity to help an existing shopping center in its recovery, find a new tenant, and basically help restore that whole portion of the shopping center which is the Walmart shopping center on Lake Mead Drive. And so this is a great opportunity to move things forward. We appreciate all the staff support working with Councilman Sgoin's office and all of the council, and I believe we've met all of the requirements for this and stand ready for any questions or hopefully your approval.
Thank you very much. We'll open up the public comment. Is there anybody here who'd like to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment and bring this up to the council. Council, any comments or questions? Not the chair will take a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda.
Matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and may be approved by a single motion. However, any consent item may be moved to the business portion of the agenda for discussion at the request of any council member.
Mayor and Council, consent agenda consists of items number A through 18. The recommendation is to approve as published.
Thank you. Council, we have a consent agenda. The chair will take a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved. Moving on to business.
Item 14, authorize issuance of a purchase order to Branch Hernandez Consulting and Insurance in an amount not to exceed $330,178 for the FY 2017-18 coverage of excess liability insurance for all city employees.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Branch, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Lee, and thank you, members of the council. Joe Hernandez, Branch Hernandez Consulting, 4584 North Rancho. We are here to answer any questions that you have. We're happy to say, first of all, that we were able to get you a price increase. It wasn't much, a few $100s, but we saved you a little bit of money again this year, and a little bit is better than nothing. But again, we hope that you approve this agenda item, and again, we thank you.
Did you have something you'd like to say?
I was going to wait to see if I get your approval, then I was going to say something.
Oh. Well, that's great. We've had a great relationship thus far, and looking forward to continuing it. At this time, the chair will ask for a motion.
Mayor, actually, I do believe there's a correction in order. I want to welcome, of course, our two friends who have been doing business with the city for a long time. I'm very happy that, of course, that they are a minority-owned business. Again, doing long-time business. But I think Mr. Hernandez needs to correct himself. I think he said that he got us an increase. I think what he meant to say is he got us a slight decrease.
Did I say increase?
You said an increase.
Correct.
But I just wanted, for the
Decrease.
record.
Thank you, Councilman Barone. You're absolutely right. There was a decrease of a few $100s.
That's why Aubrey was waiting.
Yeah, it's going to correct me. I apologize for that. Nothing worse than coming up here and saying we just raised your insurance, and that's all you want to hear.
Well, and with that, unless I have one of my colleagues, so with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, cast your vote. Items approved.
All right, sounds good.
Mr. Branch.
Mayor and City Council, two things I want to do today. And my address, 1720 Silent Sunset, north of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a resident. Mayor, first of all, I wanted, Joe said the increase we had, but we got a check here that we want to give back to the city that you guys got a premium for $50,674.27. Now, Dr. Luke, do you want to take that, or who want to take that?
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
To the city.
Thank you.
All right.
It's a return premium.
It's a return premium check. Also, Mayor, Councilman Barone, Councilman Churchill, Councilman Brown, and also Councilman Black, we want to thank you guys. We went through a rigorous RFP process over the last 2 weeks with the city, and I got to thank Dr. Luke, and everyone that's on staff. I'm looking at you too. I'm looking at that name right now. I'm just emotionally just drained right now because I stayed away from the council meeting for the last 3 weeks, 2 sessions, because I don't want to have any impropriety saying we were connected with anybody. And I appreciate everything the city has done. Me and my partner here, Joe, David Childress, Bethany, everybody that's involved that was on that committee that took us through that rigorous test, and I'm glad it's over with right now, and I'm glad we passed, and I think we've been elected to be your broker for the next 3 to 5 years, and just want to say thank you to each and every last one of you for that.
Thank you. Maybe I'll add to that just a little bit. In the city of North Las Vegas, we have relationships with insurance companies and vendors, and there comes a point in time where we reach the maturity of those relationships. In this particular case, it had come up on this particular insurance policy. And so the city is responsible for the funds that it receives from the residents. So rather than just renewing and not paying attention, we always go out to bid. And so we asked for 3 bids. So I think we had more than 3 people that were definitely interested in this. And it means that you have to start all over again and prove to us that you're worth keeping. So in North Las Vegas, we may like you, but if you're $10,000 more expensive than the other guy, we like him a lot better because it's taxpayer money. So Mr. Branch and Mr. Hernandez, every 3 to 5 years, will get an opportunity to rebid for this work. And once again, they have proven with their numbers and their experience and the services they offer to be the best bidder for our insurance services here in North Las Vegas. So we appreciate you for sharpening your pencil and recognize that you wanted to keep us as a client, and we're glad that we hadn't had to make a change. We love the relationship we have with you.
Thank you.
So thank you very much,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Mr. Councilman. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Moving on to item 15, authorize issuance of a purchase order to Motorola Solutions, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $125,087.49 for the purchase of 18 portable and 9 mobile radios for officers hired under the Crime Prevention Act of 2016 using the competitive bidding exception per NRS 332 Local Government Purchasing Act.
Thank you. Councilor, any comments, questions? Is this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
All I wanted to say is I'm very happy for this one, but I think my good friend Councilwoman Gwen Brown wants to do the motion. I just want to say this reflects the fact that very soon we're going to have 18 more cops to provide service and protection for the city. Yay.
Ms. Goins Brown.
Okay, move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved.
Item 16, approve Fire Station 57 renovation service agreement with AJB General Contractor in an amount not to exceed $95,437 for interior and exterior renovations of Fire Station 57 located at 3120 East Azure Avenue, North Las Vegas, CIP project number 10459.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions on this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
Mayor, I'll be happy to make a motion to approve this item.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved.
Item 17, pass and adopt resolution number 2592, authorizing the establishment and/or change in monetary amounts of petty cash accounts and rescinding resolution number 2484.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions on this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved. Moving on to ordinances, final action.
Ordinances listed under final action were introduced at a previous council meeting for action at this meeting, but may include emergency ordinances. Number 18, pass and adopt ordinance number 2338, amending section 010 of chapter 16 of title 17 of the municipal code by reclassifying approximately 1 acre therein from an RE Ranch Estates District to an R3 Multifamily Residential District, ZN 2717 Deer Springs Way in Goldfield, for property generally located at the southeast corner of Deer Springs Way and Goldfield Street, and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions on this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Items approved.
Item 19, pass and adopt ordinance number 2839, amending section 010 of chapter 16 of title 17 of the municipal code by reclassifying approximately 5.11 acres therein from an OL open land district to an M2 general industrial district, ZN 2617 and Beasley Industrial, for property located at the southwest corner of Ann Road and Beasley Drive alignment, and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions on this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
Mayor, I'd just like to say again, this is a nice indication. We need more industrial land. I think that not too long from now, I pray that we'll have a applicant come here to approve plans. And with that, I'd like to move to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion. Council, please cast your vote. Items approved.
Item 20, pass and adopt ordinance number 2840, amending section 010 of chapter 16 of title 17 of the municipal code by reclassifying approximately 29 acres therein from a PUD, planned unit development district, to an R1, single-family low-density district, ZN 2817 Desert Mesa, for property located between Commerce Street and Revere Street on the north side of Cary Avenue, and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you very much, Council. Any comments or questions on this item? If not, the chair will take a motion.
I'd just like to comment that this has been a long time coming, and I have great news to report that it is moving forward. Closed today, so Desert Mesa, the new Desert Mesa, will be here sooner than later. So with that, I will say move to approve.
And I will vote yes. Thank you very much. You've worked very hard on that. Items approved. Moving on to ordinances, introduction only.
There is no public comment for these items, and no action will be taken by the council at this meeting. If you wish to speak on any of these items, please attend the meeting where the final action will be determined and submit a blue card to the clerk. Item 21, introduce ordinance number 2842, authorizing the issuance and sale by the city of its Special Improvement District number 65, Northern Beltway Commercial Area, Local Improvement Bonds, Series 2017, approving the form of certain documents with respect to such bonds, ratifying action taken by city officers toward the issuance of such bonds, and providing other matters related thereto. Item 22, introduce ordinance number 2844, amending Title II of the Municipal Code by repealing the existing Chapter 2.24 of the Municipal Code and ordinance number 2740 in order to dissolve the Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Moving on to appointments, Madam City Clerk, I was just notified by Councilman Churchio. Maybe you might make that announcement.
Yes. Early this afternoon, I spoke with our chairman of the Veterans Community Commission. We have several vacancies on that board currently. She is in the process of interviewing all of the potential candidates. There is one or two that she's waiting to get either a request to continue being on the board or a letter of removal from the board. So she had asked if we could just one more time continue this till the November 1st meeting, and then we'll have all of our candidates in place for appointment.
So that would be your motion?
That would be my motion, Mayor.
Thank you very much. So any other comments or questions on the Veteran Committee appointments? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote on that.
This is the motion for both items 23, 24, and 25 for the record.
Yes, ma'am, for the record, you're right. Items approved. Moving on to City Manager's report.
Mayor, I have no additional items to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to public forum, this time is set aside for the public to address the City Council on things that they think that the council ought to hear. We have one card here. Mr. Gary Bouchard, please come forward. Well, come up, Gary. I've got a card and I've only got one here. Oh, you got this one? Okay, Jeff, would you follow him, sir? So we have two people want to address the City Council. Anybody else here that would like to address the City Council? So after these gentlemen, we'll probably adjourn the meeting. Mr. Richard, go ahead.
I just want to say something. A year ago, I made a statement that this city's being run with a high school mentality, meaning the government, not the city itself. And it turned out it offended a lot of high school school councils. It turns out that the high school are actually running a better government than you guys are, so I want to apologize to all the young people for making this statement. So I'll just say that really, you guys are not running it as well as a high school. You're running it for the benefit of the union, so God bless you. Anyway, let me go ahead and start the clock now. Hey, next Wednesday, the taxpayers of this city are going to spend $17,000 for a 2-hour event put on by the police department. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Okay. You can start the clock again. Next Wednesday, we're going the city, actually the taxpayers are going to pick up a $17,000 bill to do a 2-hour event where the police department and fire department gives away penny candy to a bunch of kids that are having too much sugar already. I think this is a gross waste of taxpayers' money. I've been saying this for 3 years. I don't know what I have to do to get your people's attentions. I mean, I guess I'll follow it up with a letter and emails. But, I mean, our police department are the most important part of this city. They're our greatest asset. They're also our most expensive asset. And when we use the police department, we should be using it for police business, not to hand out candy. This can be done in our parks by minimum wage people, not people that are costing the city $125. So I know you're going to keep doing it anyway this year. But I just want to go on record saying I'm against that. What else? Oh, seems like there's something else I wanted to talk about. Can't think what it is.
Well, if you'll give us your address, I'll tell all the kids not to show up at your house either. That'll save you a little bit of money.
Actually, they did, I gave away fruit last year,
Okay.
Which they threw away and ended up throwing it back at me. So I know kids love candy, but I'm not charging the city $17,000 to put it on.
Thank you very much.
I can't think of the other thing I wanted to bring up, but something you did say about how you guys are always trying to take the lowest
cancer awareness
bid.
or something positive.
I'm sorry, what?
Speak about cancer awareness or something.
What about cancer awareness?
Okay, it's the day.
Okay. Okay, I got 25 seconds left. Earlier, you said you guys always go out of your way to get the lowest bid. Well, I turned in the lowest bid for doing outdoor movies. I didn't get that job because it would upset the unions. So, I can't think the other thing I want to talk about is see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Bouchard.
Have a good night. And once again, I do apologize to all the high school student unions. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Mr. Jeff Alpert, please come forward.
Good evening, Jeff Alpert, 3828 Fusilier Drive, North Las Vegas, 89032, local resident and local historian. Here to give a little history of our city. Yesterday, I spent half the day at UNLV Research Library. It's just absolutely amazing what they have there. Continuing to do research on early North Las Vegas, including who all the mayors were, obtained a lot of photos. Actually, at one point when our library system was closing the main branch and moving to City Hall, they donated a lot of items to the Special Collections Department of UNLV's Research Library, as well as the Nevada State Museum Research Library. So yesterday I was able to do some digging. We actually have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of North Las Vegas photos there, and folks can actually look at them online. You just go to UNLV, Google UNLV Digital Photo Collection, and you can enter in the search box North Las Vegas, and it'll take you to the collection. 627 photos. You can look at them one at a time. You can download them, print them. It's quite interesting. One of the things I was able to do yesterday was fill in a big gap on my research on Kyle Ranch. There was a period in time from 1901 to 1911, roughly 10 years, that the railroad sat on the property, made use of it, and rented it out. So I was able to dig out into the old Union Pacific records. They had files on everything there, and they actually had the original documents from the San Pedro, Las Vegas, Salt Lake Railroad line. So I was able to dig out a lot of information about the people that were actually living there, what they were paying for leases, what they were doing with the land, how they couldn't pay their rent. So it was pretty interesting. And I wanted to share with you some photos that I found there, so maybe we can get the overhead on. As some of you know, I've been working with Cass Palmer and others at Kyle Ranch to look for the hidden time capsule that was put in July 4th, 1976. We're trying to find it, but I came across this photo. I had seen it before in a cropped form in the RJ. But this photo actually shows the ceremony at Kyle Ranch, where you could see the actual size and dimensions of the time capsule. It looks like it's hexagonal on the base, has some kind of cylinder top with a screw cap on it, and it looks like it's almost 3 feet in length. So that's what we're going to be hunting for. And some of you, the mayor, Councilman Barone, may recognize some of these. These are 4 old photos I wanted to share with you from the early days of North Las Vegas. This is one of the original medical centers that's no longer there, the North Las Vegas Medical Center, and I'm assuming it was on Lake Mead.
That was my doctor.
You went there? Okay.
Dr. Badato was there too.
This was probably the first pet clinic, what it looked like in North Las Vegas. Now we probably have 100 of them. This was the big post, not the original post office, but the big post office. I don't know where it was. Maybe some of you recognize it. This photo, same 1973. And finally, you may recognize this. This was one of the early shopping centers, the fabulous Las Vegas Village Shopping Center. Maybe you remember that. I think it might have been on, was it on Las Vegas Boulevard or? So apparently in the 80s or something, in the 80s it was closed. Next time I'd like to share photos of mayors, as well as I have some early photos of our police officials, what it looked like, the police, the fire from the 1950s and 60s. Maybe for your information, former Mayor Jim Seastrand was also the manager of that store. So we had a tie to that in the political side. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing such wonderful information to the public forum. And maybe before we shut this meeting down, I just want to let maybe the audience know that we are saddened at what happened in the MGM. But just so you understand how this community works, there's a thing called the unit command. All the police chiefs, the fire chiefs. Actually, in the back is our fire chief, Joe Calhoun, Chief Calhoun, and Captain Harmony's in the back from the police department. But as soon as those incidents happen, these leaders of our community all go to certain places, not knowing if there was one shooter or 50 shooters. No one knows what's going on. And they start a thing called a unit command. At that point, all the elected officials in the Valley who have any authority, we kind of step back, and the sheriff becomes the authority of our county. And so we wait for him to give us directions of what he sees, working with our chiefs, fire chief and police chief. In this particular case, it became known that they were going to move all the metro officers towards the MGM site, which left everything in the northwest and east. Well, we've got the northeast, but vacant of police officers. So our police officers and our firefighters picked up those sections of town and covered for the Metropolitan Police Department, while their department went to the actual crime site, we'll call it. At another time, we'll get a phone call from our chief telling the fire department that they want ambulances now quickly. And they'll call 8 ambulances out or 10 ambulances. Years ago, before we had the unit command, every police officer in this town, every firefighter would just run down to the area and say, how can I help you? And there were so many people wanting to help, they actually got on the way of success. Everybody sent a lot of vehicles down there all of a sudden because you'd need them, but nobody knew what was coming and where to stage them. So we have went and done great things within our police department, our fire department, on making sure when challenges happen in our community, whether it's something as ugly as a shooting, an earthquake, a power outage, anything that happens in this community, we have great leadership within this community. And I would like to take a moment to thank Chief Perez and Noor and Calhoun for their services, and a special thanks to our sheriff, Joe Lombardo, who did a magnificent job of understanding and corralling this situation all in the same time and bringing forth this an end to this horrible night. We're still trying to figure out what happened, but North Las Vegas was able to participate where they needed to go, when they were called to go, and we appreciated our captains and our chiefs preparing us for that. So thank you very much. So anybody else who would like to come speak to the council on public items, please come forward. Seeing none, we will close the public forum and call this meeting adjourned.